team to the national championship. And so we've made a lot of headways, and then we fast forward that to the indoor season where we were fourth this year on the men's side. And so we building the necessary, going through all of the necessary steps that it takes to put the team together in order to build a championship. And when you look at the people that we have going to Eugene, that there are a lot of first and second year students in that class. And so now, taking those guys now as our new leaders and being able to recruit around them, I fully believe that we're on track here to compete for championships.
Well, what are the steps that are involved in growing a program like that?
Well, the first part is that you have to identify multiple athletes that can come in here and help you compete at the SEC level. And in addition to doing those things, you have to find kids that are good students, but are also good in the community, good in the classroom, good teammates. And so all of those, you can't just throw in a mix of great athletes and have that happen. You have to have team chemistry and have people that identify with their roles. And so far, we've been very blessed to have that.
And what was the perception, I guess, of Ole Miss track when you took over and you went out and looked for these people? I mean, how were you received?
Absolutely. The brand of Ole Miss has never been brighter than what it is now. And going out into the community, there's not been any issues in terms of whether a lot of kids are now recognizing with the SEC network and the high-profile visibility of all of our Olympic sports, in addition to our sports that are traditionally on network television. The thing that you're seeing is that they want to be a part of that.
You talked about the depth, and especially on the women's side in track. I mean, you have Brooke Feldmeyer, freshman runner of the year in the SEC. Just what has she been able to bring her first year to this program for you?
Now, again, I think Brooke is so much like I was talking about the first and second year student athletes. What they bring to the table is just that they want to make a name for themselves. They want to come in here and they really, I can't say it loudly or proudly enough, but they really love wearing the red and blue of Ole Miss and going out and competing. And so what Brooke has been able to bring about is the same mentality of that group, which is that we want to see Ole Miss compete at the highest levels.
And you got two guys that were able to go, not just one but two, for the first time to the 1,500 meter arena. Obviously, y'all are taking big strides on the running on both men's and women's. I mean, what did those two guys, what were they able to do this year to make that step?
Well, for us, man, when I go back through and I look at recruiting, and we talked about that a few seconds ago, but what Robert and Trevor has brought to this team, and it's just been, they were the first prospects on the men's side that we brought in to campus during that fall, and it was with that goal in mind of you guys helping lead this team from the middle distance and distance areas to doing some unprecedented things around here. And so it's really a great sign of seeing those young men, with all of the hard work that they put in, make the breakthrough and go along to the national meet. I just remember sitting in Jacksonville last year after they didn't qualify, and just the frustration would probably be too strong, but just disappointment that they didn't achieve one of the goals that they had set for themselves. And one of the key talking points as we started this season was that wasn't going to happen in year two, and they came through on their end.
When you take 17 people to this meet, what does that mean in terms of how you can compete, how you can score? I mean, what's a realistic goal with this many qualifiers?
Well, you have to have scoring opportunities is the number one thing. And so we've given ourselves the first step, which is having those young men and young women compete in those scoring opportunity events. But it's no different than I discussed last week. It's a single elimination tournament, and we've advanced this far. And so we have two more goals to reach, which is the semifinal round and then the final rounds. And so it's just, we've got to make sure that we're prepped and ready to go on day one and not think too far ahead to the scoring opportunities of day two and the final events. We've got to take care of business in the prelims and then worry about the finals.
How do you like the maturity of your group to do that? Will they be able to take care of what's in front of them and not think too much about the next day?
Well, that's what it's. I would tell you that from being a former athlete, it's tough not to think and envision yourself already in the final. But I can assure you, as coaches, we have talked to them every step of the way, which is let's focus on the here and now, and which is the first step, and then we'll worry about the second step once we get to there. But we've done all of our preparation and scouting assignments, and we know exactly what we have to do once we get there. And everybody we're as healthy as we've been all season long, and so we're really excited to go there and see what we can do.